Hey parents, Pastor Ty here. I hope you guys are doing awesome on this fine Thursday afternoon. I wanted to come to you guys today and just kind of update you on some things that are going on here in student ministries and just talk about something that I think is really important. And so that's why we're kind of maximizing on it. And that's our communication strategy. So a lot of you guys get our weekly emails that have all sorts of information, whether it's upcoming events, whether it's a parent resource or it's something like a parent queue, or even what we're learning coming up in that night of fusion or that week of epic or whatever it is. And we began over the last year really thinking about how important it is to communicate with you guys and how important it is to make sure we're communicating the right things. So if you get our emails right now, you see that a lot of it is information based, that a lot of it is about the events we have coming up. A lot of it is about how to register for this retreat or to go on that mission trip or et cetera, whatever. And we realize that it's actually more important that what we're getting to you is not only that information, but the highlight or the focus that we have is on what we call Parent Queue. And the Parent Queue is what comes with the curriculum that we teach on. Really what it is a resource for you as a parent to continue the conversation at home. We believe in partnering with parents and how important it is that the parent, you, are the greatest influence in a kid's life. We believe that our small group leaders have great influence. We believe that our staff has great influence, but we believe the greatest influence is you as a parent. So we want to help you in that. We want to partner with you in that. So we've completely changed the way that we're going to communicate with you guys starting next week. So starting next week, you still are going to get your weekly emails, but they're going to look a little different. So I want to show you guys what they're going to look like. But before we do, I want to talk about why we do this. And in Deuteronomy 6, it says this: "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. These commandments that I give to you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the doorframes of your houses and on your gates." And this is just a really short passage. And what it starts off with is talking about who our God is and how important he is and loving our God with all of our heart, with all of our soul, with all of our mind. And we know that every parent wants that for their kid. And we believe that every parent wants to be a better parent. And so what Moses goes into in this passage is he talks about impressing these things on your children. And what's really interesting is he talks about leveraging the times that you're able to do that. When he talks about doing it when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, when you get up, when you eat food, when you are driving with your student, when you wake up before you go to bed, like this is so tangible for us today. And so we want to give you something that'll help you in those moments. And like I said earlier, we want to show you how we're going to do that through our Parent Queue app, or not our app, I'm sorry, our emails that we send out. So I'm going to show you guys here what your Parent Queue app is going to look like going forward. So what you guys will be getting monthly is what we're going to call a monthly Parent Queue. And the reason we do a Parent Queue is so many reasons of what I mentioned earlier, but I wanted to show you exactly what you guys will be receiving. So this is our monthly Parent Queue for our current middle school series called Made. And it'll have a couple different really important aspects per Parent Queue. So what you'll see is when you open up an email, you'll see obviously our title graphic, but you also see basically an overview of what we're learning throughout this entire series. So in our series Made, we've got like what it says here in week 1, because God made you, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And this is the passage that we studied in that week, in that lesson. And so you will see this for every week of the series. So like I said, this will come to you guys before we start a series. So it'll probably come about monthly because each of our series normally is about 3 to 4 weeks. So you'll see kind of an overview, and then we'll go into a section called Think About This. And what this section is actually really important for you as a parent is this is just some things to think about when it comes to what your middle school is dealing with, what your middle schooler is experiencing, what your middle schooler may be going through right now. And so this puts it in perspective. So this talks about when we talk about in week 1 that God made you, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. It'll say corresponding with week 1, it'll talk about some things that your middle schooler is going with, so you can think about this so it better leads you in your conversations that you're having with your middle schooler. So even in week 1, it talks about how your middle schooler receives mixed messages about sex and about the things that we are learning in this series, and how different things. So it's a really cool section. There's some things to think about for you as a parent. Then it goes into the remember this. This is our passage that we base our entire series around. And then it goes into do this. So in Deuteronomy 6, like I said earlier, it talks about leveraging the times leveraging times to influence your kids about the things that matter. In our curriculum that we use, they give us 4 different times to use. So the first time is morning time. So when you're getting ready for school, when you are making lunch for your students, whatever it may be, take advantage of morning time, drive time, meal time, and bedtime. And in that, you'll see each of those 4 times are very strategic times where normally you're around your student, you're with your student. Maybe it's passing time, like a drive time in the car, or you're around a table for mealtime, or when you're getting ready for bed and you're talking before you go to bed. Each and every one is important. And so in that weekly parent cue, or in that monthly parent cue that you'll be getting, you'll receive different things that you can do in that time. And so your morning time might be, like it says, placing a sticky note on the bedroom door with one thing that you value about your student and how God made them. All of these things are super important when it comes to leveraging what you have. And at the end of it, it just talks about how you've got resources here at parentcue.org. I would definitely recommend going to this website. It is something that is just a plethora of knowledge for you as a parent. And then they have an app. And so that is what a monthly parent cue will look like. In a second, we're going to get into what our weekly emails are going to look like instead. So this is our weekly email that you guys are going to be receiving. It looks a lot like our monthly parent cue that we're sending out, but it's going to be a little bit more specific into what we're actually learning that week. So in this weekly email, this is actually our parent cue email that we're going to be sending out next Monday. So you guys get a little quick preview of it. But this is going to be a little bit more specific, again, to what we're kind of learning this upcoming week, or that upcoming week whenever we send out an email. So you'll see what we learned last week as a recap, what we'll be learning this week. You'll still have this think about section, but it will only show that week's think about. Obviously the remember this, and then finally the do this. And so that's where we'll give you something tangible, again, talking about those 4 times that you can leverage as a parent to influence your kids about the things that matter. But we'll just only give you one thing that you can do that week. And then obviously we'll definitely be keeping what's coming up, just when it comes to information about events, when it comes to what we have coming up in student ministries. And so as you see, we have an event coming up this spring, so that's what's going to be in there. And then finally we end with our social media. If you're not following us on social media anywhere, I would encourage you to do that, just because we update a lot of information through our social medias. So that's what a weekly email might look like. Obviously, this is the mobile preview, because I know a lot of you guys check your emails on your phone. So as you can see, we are so excited to be able to make this change, and we're hoping that because of this, it is going to be easier for you to continue the conversations at home about the things that we're talking about at Epic or Fusion on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Just as a reminder, we love partnering with you. If there's anything we can do to help, or if there's anything that we can do to better do that, please let us know. We love feedback. We love you guys. We love your students. We hope that you guys have a great weekend. We look forward to the rest of our school year. See ya.